All right. It's a pretty good speaker so far, huh? That's what you guys think? Yeah, great. All right, good afternoon. My name is Jason Avelson. I'm the Texas Regional President of Phi Theta Kappa, and I'm from a WC student right here at Weatherford College. But I have a couple questions for you guys before I get started. How many of you, by show of hands, have had something in your life that you've had to overcome? Something that was difficult, something that challenged you? Great. So you probably already aligned a little bit with Mr. Turntime. You definitely heard Mr. Thurston. Additionally, how many of you guys had Weatherford College as your first college of choice coming out of high school? All right, so much better. There's 10 of us, great. All right. You see, because if I'm going to talk to you guys about student success, specifically here at Weatherford College, I have to know if you faced adversity. Because most of people can be successful under the simplest of circumstances, but when faced with nearly impossible odds, can look up, get up, and still get it done. I'm going to start from an empathetic point of view, because I remember what it was like to sit in the same seats as you guys, to have the same feelings, to be looking up here and wondering if this leap of faith is worth it, if this leap forward is going to be worth my time. And as you sit here looking back at me, wondering how do you become the Texas Regional President of Phi Theta Kappa, and although the story I'm about to tell you is very much my own, I can assure you there are a variety of stories in this audience who are just like mine. I served in the U.S. Army for 5 years, and during that time I was deployed to Iraq and Korea. People in everyday conversations use the term, "I saw my life flash before my eyes." For me, this was a literal use of the phrase, because I was 250 feet from a truck bomb when I heard a flash, felt heat, and the loudest sound that I can ever remember. And I lost 4 of my closest friends in an instant. People have asked me during my tenure in Phi Theta Kappa or at WC about resilience. Resilience is having the intestinal fortitude to comb through fields and debris to find any remnants of your friends just so you can send something back to their family under that flag. During the tour to Korea, my wife at that time had fallen out of love with me and in love with another man. A divorce soon followed, with her receiving full custody of our 2 children, Ashlyn and Jason Jr. Being honorably discharged shortly after, my brother told me about an opportunity he didn't want any veteran to miss out on working for Halliburton. I went to work as a frac hand in my 3rd year at the company, having made it to ground supervisor. I was driving my guys to location on a weekday morning when I fielded a phone call. You see, my daughter Ashlyn was having repeated behavior problems at the age of 6 in school. This latest event had left her under a school desk, screaming that she didn't understand, crying for someone to listen to her. With the mental picture of my daughter completely helpless, I unleashed my fury on my former wife, and she replied with the following words, "If you think you can do better, come get them." After speaking to my current wife, Amber, I did do just that. I drove to Fort Hood, picked them up the same day. The following weeks and months would require all my vacation time be spent, and I'd be placed on family medical leave. After months at the Child Study Center in Fort Worth and with no diagnosis in sight, my boss at the time had asked if he could take me off the books and stop doing the paperwork. He gave me his word that I'd have my job back, and in August of 2011, we got our breakthrough with Ashlyn, identifying she had memory lapse seizures, and the treatment plan was swift and successful. Focused medication, and a daily routine now have her as a straight A student with excellent marks in conduct. I went back to my boss at Halliburton, and true to his word, he offered me a position as a supervisor, but it would have to be in Alvarado, which was not feasible for living in NOLs. When I realized I was looking at a mountain of bills, I made the decision to take a truck driving job with a vendor I had just met while working for Halliburton. I only ended up driving for about 3 months. I was pulled out of a truck and placed in a dispatch job, which was a $25,000 pay cut. But the owner of the company didn't want me to miss out on the opportunity to grow, And over the next 3 years, I would indeed grow from driver all the way to general manager over the entire company, with nearly 500 employees and 5 terminals under my supervision, starting with 23 employees in 1 terminal. I was there. I was finally in that position that I could retire from. But just when I had it all figured out, my wife took a terrible turn for the worse. Our baby had stopped growing inside her. She was losing function of her organs. She had HELP syndrome, which is like putting your thumb over a garden hose, just trying to get more pressure out of it. The result of which is the baby not getting what he needs, and mommy's working 5 times as hard to get the baby what he needs. Amber was care flighted to Fort Worth, where she landed at 3:45 p.m. on April 16, 2013. At 4:09 p.m., I was pulled into the antenatal assessment center and shown the pictures. Our baby had stopped growing 3 weeks prior to that, and HELP syndrome was fatal in the 4th week, both to the mother and the child. I had to make a decision. To wait for another steroid shot, giving my baby a better chance of developing lungs and breathing, and possibly lose the love of my life, or go forward with an emergency C-section and bring a baby into this world with less than 20% chance of living, with even less chance of living a normal life. I couldn't imagine a single minute without Amber. And so I made the decision to have the baby and take our chances because I love my wife too much to lose her. Brody Dillon was born at 1 pound, 3.8 ounces into a Ziploc bag and not breathing. I followed him to the NICU, where I stayed at his bedside for 71 hours straight, waiting for his first breath. He would have to be in the NICU for an undetermined period of time, and the prognosis was dim. I used all of my vacation again. The owners of my company gave me an additional 2 weeks paid off. I tried to run the company from the hospital, but after a 2-month loss run, my bosses brought in a vice president with a master's in business administration. They couldn't afford both of our salaries, and I was approaching 105 days in the hospital with Brody. I was let go on January 6th of last year, and I was completely lost. While submitting my resume to the Texas Workforce Commission, I was asked if I'd ever considered using my veterans benefits to go to school. I explained to my understanding how I thought that worked, and it would be a waste of time, only to be corrected in the best way. I had no idea such a great opportunity was available, and would have never known had it not been for a TWC employee who wanted me to make sure that I didn't miss out on the opportunity. I drove across the street to Weatherford College, and 3 weeks later I began classes with Dr. Molly Harris as one of my first professors. For those of you that didn't have the pleasure of meeting Dr. Molly, she was about this tall, and she had every ounce of energy per square inch that a human being could have. She was all jazz hands all the time, always smiling, and she was a die-hard Coyote fan every way, and she thrived on her student success. While I was solely focused on my education, Dr. Molly spoke about this group called Theta Kappa, often and with great passion. The first thing I thought of is why she kept trying to get guys into this sorority, but I couldn't be further from wrong. I became interested when walking back onto campus in the fall of 2014 for my first day of class. I found Rocco Davidson, the current chapter president, at the top of the hill, greeting students and directing lost souls. After a long conversation, because Rocco didn't want me to miss out on the opportunity, I joined shortly after. Every single experience in Phi Theta Kappa since that day has been incredible and rewarding. I can't imagine my college experience without Phi Theta Kappa at the forefront. When I look out upon the group today, I see a multitude of opportunity for each one of you. You see, the college opportunity is the moment where your hard work and dedication have brought you to the base of the peak. And I'm here to tell you, as you look up at the mountain in front of you, you can reach the summit. You can reach the summit of your greatest dreams and aspirations. But I can also assure you, the path will not come easy. Along the way, you will need the right people, the right tools, and the right mindset to secure your foothold at the top. Weatherford College can provide the doorway to all three of these essentials. But first, we have to take a physical inventory of each one of you. Do you have the heart, the motivation, and the passion to push yourself into areas of personal exploration that scare you more than words? I sometimes wonder where I'd be now if that TWC employee hadn't taken that chance to show me that there was an opportunity available. If I hadn't explored an educational path that I didn't even know was possible. Are you willing to reach up? Reach high, so high that just when you get close enough to your goals, that you have to scream to get that last inch, that you have to scream to reach. That's a goal we're trying for. When you have a goal in this life that you're stretching for, that takes you out of your comfort zone, you'll find some talents and abilities that you didn't know you had. You see, each of you has shown that you have potential, a potential that has only begun to manifest itself in your first year here at college. A potential that, if ignited at the right point, can propel you to the peak. At Weatherford College, we don't ask average people to be phenomenal. We don't even ask good people to be phenomenal. We know that each and every one of you are phenomenal, and that you attract more phenomenal people around you. Because you're phenomenal, you will unleash your potential in this world. And I have a news flash. I'm asking you to make a goal today that calls on everything in you, so that you have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself. Even if it scares me to the depths of my soul, I will turn what I have into greatness. You're probably saying to yourself at this point, man, this guy is deep. He's really serious about our success. I thought I was just sitting and get some advice and check the block from my teacher. When you walk the path that I shared with you guys earlier, that was my own path. But you develop an appreciation for emotional intelligence and learn that passion is very likely the final fumes that will be in your tank. And believe me when I tell you, I've been on empty more than once. Lev Vygotsky was a pioneer of educational theory and psychology, and believed that every child had a zone of proximal development, a period in their lives when their potential could be maximized, when their learning was unlimited. And it was crucial that early childhood educators capitalized on this zone. You see, for me as a student leader and a mentor in Phi Theta Kappa, this is your zone of proximal development. This is my opportunity to ensure you don't allow this moment to pass, and that you take the next step up the mountain. Our college here, that we like to call the Harvard on the Hill, is ranked 6th in the state among community colleges. That's out of 70 campuses, guys. It's actually recognized historically as the oldest continually operated community college in the American Southwest. This rank among this great state of community colleges is because our entire mission here at WC is student-focused, and we harbor many great successes. These successes aren't born of our history. These successes were born of people just like you who made the decision right now to do more than they did yesterday and continue to do more each and every day. There are 86,400 seconds in a day. 86,400 seconds you get every single day. And all you have to do is make that choice in the next few seconds to make every second from that point forward serve a higher purpose than yourself, to make every second be a step forward in the right direction, and to not look back because those seconds are already gone. When you take that step, when you take advantage of the opportunity available and take that leap over what feels like a new frontier, you will find there's someone to catch you there on the other side. For me, that was Dr. Molly and Rocco. For you, probably a coach, a teammate, a mentor, a professor, a friend. But I'm here to tell you today that a great opportunity is here, and I don't want you to miss it. Each of you has a different story, and I'm sure most of you didn't expect the story I just told. That was my own, and it changed dramatically. But this is your opportunity to change your own story. Where would I be today if I had allowed my many obstacles, knockdowns, and hardships in my life keep me from not pursuing my goals? I've seen personally students young and old, traditional and non-traditional, go from a negative financial experience in college to a positive one. I know a girl who's just 18 years old, who's a dual credit high school student, and after one semester in Phi Theta Kappa, transferred to the birthplace of Phi Theta Kappa, Stevens College in Missouri, with a $39,000 financial aid package for each year, accepted into their pre-med program. I know of a veteran returning to college serving on active duty with the U.S. Army who very passionately wanted to be in the accelerated master's program at DBU, but couldn't afford it, who only recently found out through grants, scholarships, and financial aid he will have positive dollars and be attending the program in the fall. I could go on and on and on and on, as I've watched so many people just like you find their pathway to the top of the mountain. And I know in my heart as they look back, they will see the firm footing came from their time here at Weatherford College. Weatherford College embodies the hallmarks that make us servant leaders in our communities and on our campuses. So I'm challenging you guys, get involved with this group and see where the path takes you. Don't let these seconds pass. Dare to be different. Unleash your potential on this campus and on this world. I'm proud to welcome you to a family that will always lift you up and help you out, because that's what Coyote Nation does. I'm proud to represent this college regionally, and I hope to see many of you on the mountains to come. Thank you.